Hey guys, it's Stephen here. Manchester City have sold Ferran Torres to Barcelona for a fee of around £46.7 million with add-ons. It's been coming. It's been really obvious, unfortunately, that this is not a surprise to absolutely anyone. But I still want to talk about this transfer because I think it's an interesting transfer and something definitely to discuss because I know this is divided Manchester City fans. We've got very different opinions on this. So we'll go through all that today, of course. And of course, I'll offer my take on this situation as well. But it's happened. It's happened, as should you downloading OneFootball. Do me a massive favour if you don't mind. Go and download OneFootball right now. And that is, of course, where I got the first update about Ferran Torres joining Barcelona. And when I got the first update about Ferran Torres joining Manchester City all those months ago, over a year ago now. So if you want to stay ahead of the game and get all the stats and information from across the world of football, go and download OneFootball right now. You will not regret it, I promise you. You can use the QR code next to my head right now, or you can click the link in the description below. And it helps support my channel, which is lovely in this Christmas spirit right now. So do me a big favour, download OneFootball, and do yourself a big favour, download OneFootball. But Ferran Torres is gone. I'm holding the mic again, by the way. Got nowhere to put it right now. And also I'm just kind of sat. I'm not 100% yet, by the way. Still very nasally and bunged up on ear infection. But, you know, I can do a video. I can talk about this. And my instant reaction to this is, if I'm being honest, it's kind of, cheers, mate, in a bit. I can't say I'm overly bothered. I know that sounds really callous, but I guess I'm just not. And I think it's because I've enjoyed Manchester City so much in the past few months, and I kind of forgot about Ferran Torres a little bit. I can't be the only one, if we're being honest. How many people have sat there going, I've often thought, God, this would be so much better if Ferran Torres was available right now. I've just honestly not thought that. I've genuinely felt like Manchester City have coped perfectly fine without him. And I've always got the impression that he's kind of been just an extra man there as opposed to a crucial member of this squad. And that may be a little bit harsh, but that is always the vibe I've got from him. Having said that, that does not mean that I don't think he's got talent. He clearly does. Ferran Torres is clearly a very, very talented footballer, and he'll probably go really far. And as an instinctive finisher, yeah, he's fantastic. He's a really good finisher. But not every great player needs to be at your club, and not every great player is the right fit for your club either. And I've always felt that Ferran Torres felt like someone that we wanted to fit in, but never necessarily did fit in, if that makes sense. Anyway, I'll get onto that in more a little bit. Manchester City, of course, have got an article on the website about him going. He spent 16 months at the Etihad, scored 16 goals in 43 appearances for City in all competitions, and he departs as a Premier League and Carabao Cup winner, having helped the club lift both trophies in his debut 2021 campaign. Shiki Briggenstein was talking about him. He said Ferran should be proud of what he's achieved here at Manchester City. Last season was the first time in a new country, but he adapted well. He always gave 100%, worked hard for the team and scored goals which helped us win trophies. Injury unfortunately prevented him from playing more games this season, but Ferran is a player we have all enjoyed working with, and we wish him all the best at Barcelona and for the rest of his career. And interestingly as well, there's been some reports about this. I mean, this is apparently the second highest transfer fee City have ever received for a player, behind Leroy Sané's 54 million, 46.7 million. It's a lot of money, to be fair. We've absolutely more than doubled our transfer fee that we got for him. And of course, there's add-ons as well. Potentially, it could go to around 55 to 60 million apparently. According to Sam Lee, Sam did an article on it. Sam said that City did not want to sell Ferran Torres, but when the player spoke to Guardiola, the move was sanctioned. So I get the impression that we were fine with him staying around and him being useful. But Guardiola apparently could not offer Torres the same opportunities he was assured at Barcelona. Apparently Ferran was also a little bit frustrated with his limited opportunities to play, and he felt that Manchester City would soon sign a big-name striker which would further push him back. And if I'm being honest, I probably think he's right. City are clearly going to sign a big-name striker, with or without Ferran Torres' success. And apparently he also struggled a little bit. Sam, in his article, said, which is on The Athletic, you can go and read, Sam said Ferran had been struggling to live away from family and friends, and sources close to the player say his big regret is that he was not able to get to grips with Manchester life during the pandemic, due to the pandemic, which also makes a lot of sense. Moving to a new country from as beautiful as Valencia with the climate there to going into lockdown into a grey, miserable city. Even I left Manchester, man. I know I'm still in the northwest of England and all that kind of stuff, but I got it because me and Nicola were frustrated there, so I understand that. And sometimes you just fancy going home. And if we're being honest as well, I don't think City and Guardiola ever really took to him that much. That's my controversial take there. But Ferran had a decent start to the season, but as soon as the big games came around, you remember, I've just got out the shower, by the way, so that's why I'm doing that. I've got wet hair still. You remember when the big games came around with Chelsea, Liverpool and PSG in that week? despite scoring some goals at the start of the season and despite playing well, as soon as those big games came around, he was straight back on the bench, and he didn't even get a single substitute appearance in those games. And then he got injured, of course, as well after that. But essentially, he was not really deemed useful in any games that really mattered, unfortunately. Unless this is a crisis, it looked like he was never really going to get on the pitch. And I think he noticed that, and I noticed that personally, and I think Guardiola always kind of liked him, but never really loved him. And I mean that as a system player, because Ferran Torres is the kind of person who's capable of special individual moments in front of goal, but he never really had a game where I felt like he dominated a game and I thought, God, this guy's a star boy. Even when he scored that hat-trick, he still kind of just was quiet around the hat-trick, if that makes sense. And that's fine if you are a striker and so on, but I feel like Manchester City, well, Guardiola in particular, always wants a little bit more from the players. He wants them to be involved. He wants them to be good at pressing. He wants them to be great at linking up with other players. And I feel like Ferran didn't have enough to impress Guardiola as an out-and-out striker. And I don't think he ever had enough to impress Guardiola as an out-and-out winger. For some reason, as a winger when he played for City, he was never he seemed to lack either insane skill or immense pace to get past people, and as a result he was always all right. He was never like a great Premier League winger. Could you have got there? Maybe you could have. Genuinely, you could have got there as a striker as well. But I think if you got an unhappy player and you're already kind of fine without him, and I think the past few months have not really helped his cause either, because City have been like, yeah, we've not really missed him. So you're not missing a player, and you've got great options, and you're going to sign a striker anyway, and the player wants to go home, and you're going to get double the money, which will help sign the striker that you want to sign. I can understand why City have gone, let him go. I can. Apparently, according to Sam Lee as well, City believe Cole Palmer could become even better than Ferran Torres. So that's interesting. That is the positive side you've got to look at as well. That, of course, even though we want Ferran to stay and all that kind of stuff, there's a big chance that now Cole Palmer gets more game time. And for me, that is a positive. These young players getting a chance to actually, break through, that means more to me than Ferran Torres breaking through. I like Ferran Torres, don't get me wrong, but I never got the sense that he was ever a serious option for Manchester City. In terms of, even if I wanted him to be, even if you wanted him to be, I never got the impression that Guardiola felt that he was. And I can't be the only one who noticed that. For me, he's a good player, but is he a world-class player? No. Could he be a world-class player? Maybe. He could be. But right now, I can't say I feel like it's a massive, massive loss. The only arguments I would suggest that people have had, which seem fair enough, is that we're possibly a player short now if injuries happen, and I get that. We are maybe a player short. I would argue, though, we've had situations already where we've only had like 13 senior players available this season, and even then we've not really missed Ferran. And if you get to the situation where we're missing so many players that Ferran Torres is the option to save us, then I think we're fucked anyway. With all due respect to Ferran, I think he's not the kind of guy to lead a team if we're short of players. He was very much another player who was just there, and I don't really think there would be much of a difference if he was playing or Cole Palmer or James McAtee or something like that. I know that's a bit harsh take, but this, basically, long and short of it, if Ferran was the answer, we're already fucked at that point. That's how I felt about it anyway. So I really like him and I've enjoyed him and I hoped he could have been really better. But at the same time, I understand and respect the players' wishes. And you've got to understand as well that City saying yes to players to go if they want to, it's a good thing. I know it seems like a bad thing, but Manchester City aren't the kind of club that keep players against the wall. And as a result, everyone is there is happy to be there. You just know they are, because otherwise they would be gone. And I think City as well send a nice message to any future signings that, don't worry, if you come here and you enjoy yourself, and great, you can stay forever. But at the same time, if you come here and it doesn't work for you, we'll let you go as long as you get the right fee in. And I think there's a power in that message as well. Like, was basically saying to the players, just trust us, man. Trust us. You come here, you can have a good career. If not, you can move on. That's absolutely fine. We respect players, respect them as people, and we do not hold them against the world as long as the offer is reasonable. And to me, I would really appreciate that as a footballer. I would appreciate that in any business, a manager that respects your desires and wishes, especially given the fact that, some of the reasons are personal. He wants to go home, and also he feels like he'll get more game time somewhere else. And I wouldn't be surprised if City actually kind of go, yeah, fair enough. That's a very good point. You can go now. So it's gone, but I understand it. I'm not going to shed a tear over it. I don't think he ever fully settled in. I think he showed promise here and there, but I don't think he ever felt essential or a key player. And we've got more than our money's worth back for him. And of course, now we've got a best part of 50 million now in the bank that we can put towards a striker in the summer, which we're clearly going to sign. It won't be January, in my personal opinion. I think we'll sign a striker in the summer, but having that 50 million guaranteed extra, that gives us a little bit more, sway in the market. It gives us a little bit more freedom. And I think that City probably thought, you know what, I'd like to have that right about now. So either way, it's done. I understand it. Ferran Torres, have a good time at Barcelona, man. I hope you do really well. I hope he scores loads of goals over there for him, because he's a good player, good lad, but never really settled here. Guys, thanks for watching this video. There will be a match preview coming up later as well. I'm nearly back to 100%. Nearly. I'm on antibiotics now from an ear infection. Life, eh? Thanks for watching this video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. And I'll be back tomorrow, of course, and later on for a match preview. Give this video a like. Big love to all the Patreons and Scott Denemy and Ferran. In a bit, mate. Ciao. Is that Spanish? That's Italian. What's goodbye in Spanish, Nicola? Adios. Is it adios? Goodbye. Adios. Adios, Fran.